Live in high definition, you're watching Game Night.
Good evening. It is week number 8, and for some teams, the 9th game of the season, including Stony Point. Tigers trying to move within a win over Pflugerville for their first, or over Pflugerville if they win tonight, of their first perfect ever regular season. Clear that up in a moment. They play Pflugerville next week. Brown Rock tonight at Dragon Stadium. Stony Point trying to get to 9-0. Aaron Sharp up top to Stephen Williams. Williams fights his way into the end zone, and the Tigers take a 7-0 lead, and then they would continue to add on. That is Sharp rolling, and finding Cody Jones, and Jones is going the distance. Stony Point does lose one of their quarterbacks, Gus Barrera, with an ankle injury, but they get the win 42-7. They are 9-0 on the year. Well, speaking of that District 16 5A after Stony Point, it's a mad dash for the other 3 spots, and one of those spots could be locked up tonight in Georgetown. Layla Rahimi at our Game of the Week. A lot on the line for the Eagles in Westwood tonight, Layla.
Yeah, Roger. In fact, the playoffs were on the line for Westwood. Winners of 3 of their last 4 games. Winning, they were in, but it's easier said than done on tonight's Game of the Week. Westwood Student Council, Georgetown Student Council actually doing the honors for us tonight. First quarter, Eagles get on the board. Darius Davis runs up the middle, dances 18 yards to the house as the Eagles take a 7-0 lead. But Westwood comes back. Ben Johnson with a 4-yard touchdown run that would tie the game at 7. A little more B-magic for you this time. The TD gives the Warriors a 16-7 lead in the second quarter. But Georgetown would come back. Nick Siosin goes in from 4 yards out. That cuts the lead to just 16-14 Westwood, but Westwoods end up scoring 2 more touchdowns in this game, and they win it tonight by a final of 30-14. The Warriors now winners of 4 of their last 5 games, and they are in the playoffs in District 16 5A. An excited crowd here tonight. Roger, back to you.
All right, and if you see a big grin on Layla's face, it has a little something to do with what happened in Arlington. More on that in a moment. We stay in 16 5A. 2 more teams battling for playoff spots. Pflugerville and Leander. The Lions' only district loss to Stony Point. Kickoff right here to Leander's John Henderson fakes the reverse, and then he will keep it. Goes 50 yards to set up great field position. Henderson committed to play for Texas A&M next year on that drive. Quarterback Chase Kelchin will uncork one to Nico Brown, and talk about the juggling act right there. Touchdown Leander. And then Pflugerville will come back on that vicious ground game that George Herman has. This is Julian Ward for the touchdown, but Leander at last check 42-20 in the 4th. So at 56-33 is the final, so it looks like they're headed to the playoffs. They get to 3-1. Let's go to 15 5A. Westlake Chaparrals on the road at Del Valley. Westlake a perfect 2-0 in the district. Del Valley looking for their first district win. Xavier Holman giving the Cardinals some hope, though. First possession, finds the edge, and he is into the end zone. Del Valley takes the lead, but then Westlake gets going. The pitch to Bryce Dolzal, and this is the first of 2 consecutive touchdown runs. Gets to the middle and then will win the foot race. And speaking of foot races, not many are going to catch quarterback Lewis Gilbo in the open field. He's gone. Westlake wins 38-18. They are 3-0 in district play. Bowie and Austin High, and Bowie trying to remain perfect in district play, taking on the Maroons, and the blocked punt. Zach Smith punt blocked by Matthew Golston. Nick McDaniel recovers it, and Bowie takes a 14-7 lead. And then Austin High on the drive, but Jordan Jaquez is intercepted, and Bowie, with 3 seconds to go, wins this one with a touchdown. Austin High had the lead. Bowie, though, gets a touchdown with 3 seconds to go. They win it 24-21. Now to 4A. District 27 has turned into one of the most competitive in Central Texas. Brian Sanders. Hey, Brian, at Conley High School. What's going on tonight? Conley, big one, trying to stay undefeated in district play against maybe the favorite coming in.
Yeah, I got people yelling at me. Sorry about that. It's getting a little complicated in 16-4A and a tough stretch for Connolly. They've had to fight for the district lead now 2 weeks in a row, trying to take a giant step toward clinching a title, but the Bastrop Bears came into their house and hoping to make a statement as well. Connolly did take the early lead up 13-0. They missed their first extra point, and the Bears come back. That is not a fumble. That is a touchdown there by Marcus Reed. And then Connolly with a punishing run from Kenneth DeFee, stretching across the goal line. They never could, though, get that extra point back and may have hurt their momentum. Instead, it's the Bears, Josiah Monroe to Bubby McDonald. They score twice before half and hang on to win 42-27. So Bastrop now with a share of the lead there in 16-4A. As for the Hutto Hippos, trying to bounce back against Elgin, who's still looking for their first district win, but the Hippos pounce on them in a hurry. Ryan Higgins ducking the sack and finds Alondre Thorne, who gets behind everybody at 7-0 Hutto. And then from the Wild Hippo formation, Alondre Thorne taking it himself up the gut, scampers for another touchdown. And Hutto was in full command of this one. Higgins, little dump off to Darian Allen with a wave of blockers in front. 35-3. Hutto without their star running back Xavier Wynn tonight. He's out with a knee injury, but they should have him back in 2 weeks. They have a bye coming up, and then their big matchup with Bastrop, which could decide placement in the playoffs. And, of course, Bastrop clinching a spot tonight with their 42-27 win over Connolly tonight. Roger?
Thanks, Brian. We'll have Bastrop Thursday on our big game of the week on KBVO, by the way. At 25-4A, undefeated Cedar Park the night off, and then they'll play Dripping Springs before their showdown with Lake Travis, which is also on KBVO on November 4th. Lake Travis tonight at home against Rouse High School. Rouse, a young varsity program, and this was just a tough matchup. Michael Brewer up top to Griffin Gilbert. Those two connect 2 straight touchdowns, and then it is Colin Lagasse. He filled in for Brewer when he was injured. He's into the end zone. All Lake Travis, they're 7-1, 62-14 is that final score.